Okay guys, so in this video I'm going to show how I booked a 30,000 rupees loss in one single swing trade. Let's refresh. So this is the loss. 3 lakh rupees का investment किया गया था इसमें, and let's dive right into the setup now. Trading view platform and this was the price action जो मेरे exactly आंखों के सामने था and I had to trade this. Right now we are on a daily time frame. ये एक डबल बॉटम पैटर्न का भी ब्रेकआउट हुआ है. साइड में जो प्रीवियस हाईज थे मार्केट के वो भी यहाँ पे निकल गए हैं. स्टॉक गॉट द ग्रीन फ्लैग बेसिकली बिकॉज द प्रीवियस हाई गॉट नॉक्ड ऑफ. देयर इज अ डबल बॉटम एंड कंटिन्यूएशन पैटर्न एज वेल. थोड़ा सा पीछे जाऊंगा एंड दैट इज हाउ द होल स्टॉक लुक्स लाइक हियर, लाइक दिस, इस जगह पे. सो ये एक मेजर एरिया है जहाँ पे स्टॉक ने मल्टीपल टाइम्स रेजिस्टेंस लिया एंड देन आफ्टर दिस ब्रेकआउट एंड सस्टेनेबिलिटी बैक टुक अगेन अ सपोर्ट देयर एंड देन मल्टीपल टाइम्स यहाँ पे सपोर्ट लिया गया है. नीचे फेक ब्रेकडाउन्स भी आए हैं बहुत सारे, बट उसके बाद आप देखोगे एक फॉर अ रियली लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम द स्टॉक नेवर गेव दिस फेक ब्रेकडाउन जो यहाँ पे हो रहे थे. इट अगेन स्टार्टेड मूविंग टूवर्ड्स द हायर साइड, क्रिएट्स अ हायर हाई फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एंड देन अ हायर लो फॉर्मेशन एंड देन अगेन अ हायर हाई. तो ये जो हायर हाई हायर लो बन रहा था यहाँ पे, इसी में आई गॉट टू नो कि मेरा सेटअप भी एक्टिवेट हो गया है. ओके, सो लेट्स कम टू द ऑल टाइम हाइज ऑफ द स्टॉक. सो आई वुड लाइक टू मार्क द ऑल टाइम हाइज हेयर लाइक दिस. यहाँ पे मार्क कर देते हैं इसको एंड लेट्स थ्रो अ काउंटर ट्रेंड लाइन फ्रॉम द क्लोजिंग ऑफ दोज हाइज. इस तरीके से मैं काउंटर ट्रेंड लाइन थ्रो करने की कोशिश करता हूँ यहाँ से. ठीक है, नाउ अब आगे चलते हैं थोड़ा सा प्राइस एक्शन में. यू गाइस कैन सी हाउ दिस काउंटर ट्रेंड लाइन टर्न्स आउट टू बी. सबसे पहले इस काउंटर ट्रेंड लाइन को स्टडी करते हैं. लेट्स स्टडी दिस. सो द फर्स्ट टाइम वी आर मेकिंग दिस काउंटर ट्रेंड line, the stock hits this line, falls to the bottom side and creates a lower low to the base. It tries to move above it but could not, and that's the whole point of making the counter trend line here. Right here you can see there is a triple top creation, first, second and third. There is a triple top creation here. तो यहाँ पे एक triple top creation हो रहा था. That is also giving me a good thought process कि future में now whenever the stock is going to hit this with a consolidation like this and going to close here, that is going to be a really good trade. Price action tells you everything, it's correct. So this was the high and then the market creates a lower low, lower high formation, and again now I have stretched this counter trend line over that particular year now. So after over 1 year, this particular stock never touched the counter trend line again, and here you can see there is a U-shape formation, and also you can say multiple times it's trying to move above but getting extremely rejected. This rejection right here piqued my interest in this particular stock, that yeah, something can be made out of this particular setup if at all we get a breakout of these wicks of this closing. So that's the top wick, that is the closing. Final confirmation for me was the moment it gave a solid candle from this bottom till this area to this purple box. It again started rejecting for 2 days, 2 complete days rejection, and then only it gave again a candle here. Overall price action looks smooth and everything was good. So I took the trade exactly on this day, and that is the only thing जो मुझे नहीं करनी थी, because this is a daily time frame and यहाँ पे if you see it's Tuesday. Now guys, hear me out. अगर Tuesday है, Monday है, Tuesday है, Wednesday है, do not indulge into a daily time frame trade unless you have seen the trade give strong closing on a daily time frame and there is no hindrance on a weekly or a monthly time frame, which I completely skipped here. Or you can say I assumed that the stock might give that closing that I wanted. Okay, so मेरा प्लान ये था कि this is Tuesday. I had good idea about कि अगर मैं weekly time frame पे जाऊँ, what's happening on the weekly time frame. Let's see. Weekly time frame पे the same trend line is being made, but there is one more thing here, that is, so there is another counter trend line, there is another line here that what I call is a hidden line. So on a weekly time frame there is a hidden line, strong rejection, once there is a cluster of resistance. Now my anticipation was that it will give a closing on a weekly time frame above this area. But remember, it's only Tuesday and the price action is looking beautiful. That means it's luring me right into the setup. Not to forget that the counter trend line at the top also goes around that area. If I make it something like this, and let's mark that with a yellow line maybe, to mark that this is a weekly time frame counter trend line that I'm throwing right now in this manner. Okay, so I want a closing above this rectangular bar on a daily time frame. I want a closing above the red line and the yellow line on the weekly as well. My conditions should have been that on a Tuesday, if it is giving me a breakout, so I want a closing first of all above the rectangular purple box, okay, which definitely I got. Okay, so give it a green mark. Then I want on a Friday, that is the weekly time frame closing, I want a breakout sustained. That means price action should sustain for the weekly time frame so that it closes above the red line, so that it closes above the yellow line, both made on which time frame? Weekly time frame. Got it? So that should be my overall judgment of the price action, that I want all these points to be done right here, and keep a stop loss of around 8% here. That was my stop loss from the entry points, and I was keeping a 1:2 risk reward ratio in this trade. Let's see what happens on a Wednesday, next day. So Wednesday was a solid rejection candle, but still if you see the price action went higher, that means I was in profit for a period of time, and then it came down, not only down, but a solid rejection. Still if you see, the stock is trading above the red line, the yellow line for the weekly closing, and above the rectangular box on a daily time frame. So my setup is still intact, and I was thinking that the only thing that can take my setup down is if it goes below this area. Now that could be a daily time frame retest, but we are moving towards the end of the weekend, so it can give me a closing below this particular red line, and that is like be the end of the trade. But still I have taken the trade, I have taken that risk right here. Most of the time these type of risk backfires you, and definitely it backfired me later on, you can see. Okay, so this was Thursday and that's Friday. Now if you see how beautifully the price action is placed here, the price action takes this high, then gives you a red candle on a Wednesday, then gives you a red candle on a Thursday, and finally gives you a red candle on a Friday. That's the catch here. It took the price action below the red line here, and that is the Friday closing. Why I am not exiting my trade at this point? Reason being that you can still see that if it wants to go below this red line and yellow line, it can give a big red candle also, but it is testing my patience. It is showing this small bullishness at the bottom, again small bullishness at the bottom, wicks, lower wick rejection, and again a small bullishness, and in what ways these wicks at the end of the day, the wick is coming at the bottom. That is telling me that this could again be a retracement, because there was a one big green candle and small three red candles. Now here is the funny thing. Next day there is a good movement towards the upside, and that is what I exactly wanted. 2 day of candle is being removed first of all, and then the price again comes back towards the bottom, giving me chills back again. Then the candle even moves higher right here. If you see, it moves higher. Now if you see the price action here, how the stock used to perform, it gives these wicks and then it continues to fall. Gives, if the wick is coming, there is a high chance it will make wicks around those area and start falling towards the downside. That is the whole point, that I thought that rather than going for the 10% loss at this area, I might just exit at a 8% loss here and save myself for the 2%. So you can see that how brutally I was taken out by the markets here. Now the only thing that I would like to share as a word of wisdom from my experience is that on a weekly time frame, if you see the week that I took this particular stock, it never closed above the red line. The stock never closed above the yellow line. That means the higher time frames were telling me not to enter the trade. The smaller time frame, daily time frame, is a big time frame, but relatively with respect to the weekly and the monthly time frame, it's still a smaller time frame. And most of the time, if you are swing trading in Indian stock markets, stocks or anything, you should be focusing more on the higher time frames. That if you are taking a trade on a daily time frame, you must check everything happening on the higher time frames. What's popping on the higher time frame, and if you're not doing that, these are the results. So this is how I booked a 30k loss in one single trade. I hope you learned something today out of it, and make sure you subscribe this particular channel. We are aiming for 10,000 subscribers by the end of this month, and my Telegram link is given in the comment section. Every single one of you out there who want to learn something good out of this can join my Telegram.